Buenas, ¿qué tal? Gracias por tu nueva transmisión. En esta ocasión vamos a estar con el video de legendario, que es que me dicen dirígete la ya aura de Aku, que vamos a ver qué tal nos da. Vamos con esto.
I suppose this will do.
Bueno, así que bueno, ahí posar.
Since we first set foot on Inazuma. So many things have happened since then. Yeah, we've definitely made some progress on our journey. So, where should we go today? Huh? What's up?
Yeah.
Hey! What the heck was that for? Doesn't want to talk, huh? All right, let's convince him to calm down a little.
Toma, toma. Tiene buen rango.
Huh? So you don't have a vision after all? Seems like I've mistaken you for someone else.
At the very least, you should make sure you've got the right person before you go attacking them.
Casa, Paimon.
No, wait. Even when you've got the right person, you shouldn't go
Have you ever met someone by the name of Kaedahara Kazuha?
Era Kasua.
He carries a sword just like you. I've also heard that he possesses an animo vision. That's none of your business. Never mind. You don't look like you know anything anyway. I'm wasting my time.
Tentador.
What the heck is this guy's problem? Coming around here, well, one thing's for sure, right? Paimon has a feeling, though, that even if this guy gets... Anyway, just to be on the safe side, we should go find Kazuo. Oh?
Okay.
What kind of hunch? A special connection? You mean, beyond already knowing? Yeah. Anyway, there's no time to lose. Paimon heard that the Crux fleet is stocking up in Rito at the moment. Let's look...
Vamos con caso. Hacer pues marcha un acto 1, camino sin amigos.
I'll protect us.
Los 400 metros solamente. Nadie corre no hace mal, así que... Ahí está ya lejos. Un tele para un juego más rápido. Rabanito.
You're looking for Kazuha too, huh? Guess he must have done something impressive after... Well, we took the small vessels into Rito on a routine supply run, only this time, as soon as we entered the harbor, we ran into a huge crowd of Inazumans, all of them wanting to know about Kazuha. If it's because of that battle on Nizuchi Beach, Captain Beto had a great run there too. Kazuha keeps to himself most of the time. In fact...
Oh, so you still...
I've heard bits and pieces. It's something about him blocking the Raiden Shogun's Muso no Hitotachi. Is it really as big a deal as everyone's making it out to be? Really? Wow. He was called away earlier by... I thought they'd come to arrest him at first.
Just a little while ago, this would have been completely unimaginable. Thank you. Guess we'll go pay a visit to the Tenryou Commission.
All right then. I'll just stay here and carry on.
Okay. Es mucho. Acá, 30 metros. Casi mil. Vamos al fondo. Pues con la Trident. Esta casual.
Oh? It's you.
Greetings. We were just discussing the repealing of the Vision Hunt Decree. We invited Mr. Kaidahara here to extend a gesture of goodwill. Your hard work has secured for us the agreeable state of affairs that we now enjoy. Also, I've been granted the chance. The Almighty Shogun has issued a large array of directives aimed at resolving, or at least easing, the tensions that have built up over the Tri-Commission has made the recommendation to use this opportunity to restore the. Regarding the history of the Kaidahara clan, I trust that you're already.
Algo
So,
he
in
oído
short,
de él.
there was once a group of select bladesmiths who served the Shogun directly, responsible for upholding, but there came a time when some of these bladesmiths revolted and fled to Snezhnaya. Both the Kaidahara and Kamisato clans were held accountable for We later learned that the whole misadventure had been secretly orchestrated by the Fatui. Attributing all of the blame to the Kamisato and Kaidahara clans was neither proper nor just. Considering Mr. Kaidahara has once more made an outstanding contribution to Inazuma, the Almighty, in the interest of preventing further harassment of the Bladesmith clans by the Fatui, we chose not to publicly release the findings of our investigations into these matters.
Yeah.
We trust you can understand why this was necessary.
This is a true honor. I am delighted to be in a position to receive the goodwill of the Almighty Shogun and the Shogunate at large. However, would I be correct to assume that this magnanimous gesture does not come without some strings attached?
I can assure you that nothing could be further from the truth. We seek only to correct a past injustice. With the Kaidahara clan's reputation and occupation restored, the Kaidaharas will be bladesmiths once more, and your wanderings will finally come to an end. You will be able to lead a safe and prosperous life in Inazuma City, with the Almighty Shogun's blessing and full.
I have grown accustomed to life among the elements. I fear I would no longer feel at home behind the tall walls of a stately abode. Yet my ancestors did indeed take great pride in the name of Kaidahara, and the art of blade making for which it stood.
I sense some hesitation in your words. Should you accept this offer, I imagine many of the malicious rumors currently circulating.
Malicious rumors? All we heard on the way here was so.
Well, to some, the Muso no Hitotachi is something that can never be defeated. They cannot accept the idea that Mr. Kaedahara really parried the Shogun's strike. Also, eyewitnesses saw him using the power of Electro in addition to that of Animo. As a result, the falsehood that Kaedahara Kazuha was using a delusion began.
What? But that doesn't make sense. Using a delusion turns you old and frail, and Kazuha's.
That is correct. However, to some people, the idea of a single person wielding two elements at once is a more inconceivable notion still.
La prota usa como cuatro elementos, cinco.
This is just one of many similar rumors. I am very uncomfortable, but perhaps if the Shogunate is willing to publicly support me, this
This is precisely why I encourage you to give our offer some serious thought. It stands to benefit all.
Please, in fact, let us put this discussion on hold for the moment. Well then,
Yikes! We nearly forgot about the most important thing!
why would such a dangerous individual be looking for me? No, this puzzles me as much as it does you. My fighting forms were taught to me by my family, based on techniques originally developed for blade testing. Over time, these techniques came to form something of a Kaedahara sword art, focused on blade testing, but with a full repertoire of Those forms are quite different from the more practical ones typically used by samurai in battle.
All the more reason to watch your back! This guy was a serious.
Indeed. He sounds highly aggressive. Anyway,
In that case, I will send some men out immediately to search for him.
thank you. I must say, I am now very curious about this matter. I will first join the Traveler in investigating the one who attacked her.
Very well. Please stay safe.
Come on. Let's go and track down your aggressor.
The detective agency knows the most about what goes on in town. Let's see what we...
Yeah. Ya se me quedó sin misión, creo.
Hey there!
What?
We'd like to ask you a quick question. Do you know if anyone around here has been looking for him? For Kaidahara.
Aha! So this is the renowned Mr. Kaidehara. I've heard a lot about...
You are too kind. We are currently investigating an...
Oh? You were targeted in an assault? Mr. Kaidehara is currently the talk of the town, so there are always a lot of people looking for him. To be honest with you, our detective agency has recently been receiving many inquiries from people wishing to obtain Mr. Kaidehara's personal information. Some of them were offering us millions of mora just to gather the information
de
they
moras.
want.
Qué buena.
If these were more legitimate commissions...
Millions of Mora?
Please, accept my thanks for looking...
Of course. No matter what, we only take on legitimate cases. We don't make our money by revealing details of other people's Sorry, I got a little off topic, but I wouldn't know where to begin if we want to connect.
Then let's put that connection aside for now. Have there been any other attacks, or... The Tenryou Commission had very few leads.
It's true that the commissioners aren't clued up about every little thing that goes on out in the... If anyone had been out there
Uh-oh. Looks like the trails are...
I still find it difficult to believe that whoever attacked you, few people possess your prowess in battle. So unless I am well aware of your talents, it would cause me for the poor victim.
Don't worry, we'll find it.
It seems you are every bit the self...
You flatter me.
Oh, let me tell you about...
Sure.
All right then. One of them is a...
Manoma.
Right. Two grown men. I recalled this because...
Understood. Though it...
Sure.
Thank you, Ryuji. We'll start by...
Sounds good.
Purpura de gato. No paro. Pero...
Ah, if it isn't Kaedehara...
Yes. The Kaedehara and Amenoma clans were both members of the Raiden Gokaden. Historically, there have always been deep links, but after I returned to Inazuma, I visited Mr. Amenoma to... let me quickly explain. The Raiden Gokaden was the collective term. The techniques of blade making were personally bequeathed. Unfortunately,
So
It is a great pity indeed. In the old days, we each as an example, the Amenoma art strives to emulate the abiding patience, and there is nothing mystical to our work. As for the
that's right. For only a...
Indeed, you are, without a doubt, the most worthy wielder of an Ish...
You overestimate. But let's get... We hope to assist...
Ah, yes. He didn't say a word, but I've done what I can.
we heard that the...
Yes. I believe he went to collect the item from Mr. Nagato after that. The next... Yes. Strange, isn't it? I wonder what could have caused it.
Do you have any thoughts on what Yuya may have wanted to give you?
If I had to guess, it must have been some kind of rare weapon. He's never been particularly interested in blade forging. but has always had a fondness for blade testing. He is extraordinarily talented in martial arts.
Truth be told, we have some information that you may find to be objectionable. Based on the evidence we have gathered so far, only Yuya seems to match the...
What? No. Absolutely impossible. He is humble and kind. Even his training is done with the goal of...
Is that...
Yes. If there's one thing I can say for certain, but with that said, it's equally out of character for him to just... I also cannot know what course of action he might be capable of if coerced. Anyway, should you find...
Don't worry. You have our word.
From the sound of that, Paimon doesn't think Yuya was the one who attacked us as well.
Yes. It sounds as if something happened when the two men met each other. Let's pay a visit to the Nagato household.
Atajo.
I'm very sorry, but we cannot afford to pay what we owe. My husband has gone missing, and I'm still trying to find him.
No, you misunderstand us. We are...
Ah, I see. I thought the debt collector... I'm sorry you have to see me in this dreadful state. Has some...
I'm afraid we don't have any new information at the moment. With this in mind...
For example, Paimon's struggling to understand why a collector would...
That's a long story. He'd always get so animated when he was showing them to me. I knew nothing about the items myself, but everything was fine when we first got married. But as time went by, things changed for the...
Uh-oh! What happened?
He lost his sense of restraint. He started buying more and more things. Our expenses really spiraled out of control when he started getting interested in weapons. It was awful. He wouldn't sell them, wouldn't even touch them. Just said, I'm happy he has a hobby, and I'm willing to support him. But making ends meet has to come first. On the last day that I saw him, I gave him an ultimatum. I said,
Whoa!
And that led to an argument.
Actually, it didn't. Generally, he's a quiet man who, you must understand, I never would have dreamed of threatening him with divorce if after I said those words, he froze and was silent for a long time. His voice was so meek and pitiful that I felt an urge to take everything back. But then what? If I didn't draw the line, what would happen to our family? Had I not indulged his bad habits, we wouldn't have found... And I also don't know if he had actually come. The next thing I heard was that our warehouse had caught fire, and both he and the buyer had gone missing.
I see. Amenoma Yuya came to purchase a weapon from Mr. Nagato.
At first, I assumed they must have gotten into an argument over the price. But my husband has never been one to negotiate. He never even haggles when he's out buying groceries.
Maybe he was feeling the pressure from the debt?
I don't know. He just disappeared after the warehouse burned down. Perhaps he's too afraid to come home, now that all his collectibles have been lost in the fire. Even though I'm still a little mad at him. We're a family. As long as he's willing to turn over a new leaf...
Please don't get upset. There could be more to this situation if collecting things is but the information we gathered...
A little confusing. More like completely mystifying.
Puerta demoníaca, creo.
Let's try a change of scenery. Rest assured.
Thank you so much.
Based on the information we've gathered so far, I can only surmise that the fire at the warehouse likely played a part in how the... Do you have any thoughts?
Well, Paimon was thinking thinking that maybe someone accidentally knocked over an oil lamp and... Nope, never mind. Paimon's brain needs to rest for a while. Over to you.
Right. I very much agree with you. Working off what we know so far, the chances are that there is one fact that I keep coming back to is that Amenoma Yuya is polite and Mr. Nagato, being heavily in debt, is also the only... The more I ponder it, the more puzzling it becomes. Right. Although the time frame seems to broadly match, no Amenoma Yuya...
Darn!
Let's keep going. If we can solve the case, both Mr. Amenoma and...
Okay.
Let's head out of this...
Se parece la raya, ¿no?
Wait. I hear something ominous.
Oh! This must be another one of those... As sketchy as that whole thing seems, you did put it to good use when we were chasing down...
Now I'm picking up a strong scent in...
But there's nothing here.
It's gone now. But I can still sense the direction. It felt very much like that ancient presence in Inazuma. Indeed. But this we should remain vigilant. And...
Yeah.
Huh. So it's an under...
The force is definitely the source of the... Judging from the concentration...
Mrs. Nagato said her husband used to hang around the warehouse by...
It could well be that he was already under the influence of Tatarigami energy at that time. From what I've... But most will... Mr. Nagato had an interest in collecting to begin with.
So which...
Step back. I'll open the door and take... If we don't open this door, we can move no... You needn't worry.
What's down there?
Everything's buried in debris. I can't see it. It looks like the fire caused a cave-in, reducing the entire warehouse to rubble.
That was too scary! Paimon was...
All we can do now is keep searching in the direction that the two ordinary humans, entangled with the Tatarigami. Yes, let's quiet your mind.
LLaura. LLaura es el negro, ¿no? Todo negro. Ya está.
From this point, the trail appears the main source of the Tatarigami energy continued on into the distance.
Whoa! Look at all those hilly churls! They're acting really strangely.
Something seems to be drawing their attention. Let's take a closer look.
Innocent.
By the looks of it, a letter, written on a piece of torn clothing. Well...
Gato fue herido por ánimo. Él me robó mis manos. Las espadas, así que lo persigo. Tan cansado que no tengo más que descansar. Ya de mi vida. Extraño fuerza. Yo me robaría la espada. Se la vendí. Quemaron. Me duele tanto. Lo único ¿A dónde está? Un periodo de conciencia. Lo único que puedo hacer es pensar en el dolor. Es escribir. Pensar el sacrificio de sus hijos. Puede ser. Ya trato de decirles que lo siento, estaba demasiado claro, me dejé llevar por mi decisión. Debo haber expresado de alguna manera estos extraños, pero no me han traído ni la felicidad ni el cariño que tanto anhelo. Todos juntos valen tanto como una mera palabra suya. Gracias a Chico, la verte defraudar. Bueno, un poco triste, pero el testamento de morir.
According to this letter, a conflict arose because Amenoma Yuya wanted to seize a blade belonging to Mr. Nagato.
Correcto, correcto.
Yuya started the fire that destroyed the warehouse and wounded Mr. Nagato in the fight.
So, where is he?
He was not only mortally wounded, but also under the heavy influence of Tatari. Whatever traces there may have been of his fate beyond after this point, they've since been disturbed by the hilly... Yes. Right now, we need to uncover some... If Amenoma Yuya...
Right! So let's get moving!
I wouldn't be surprised if he, too, fell prey to the... For a practitioner of the martial arts, the easiest desire to... all the clues that at first seemed disparate. I have a hypothesis.
Wait!
I believe so. On with the search. We must...
Okay.
Let's dance!
No, acá. Ahí ya creo. Llegamos. Ahora.
He seems to have stayed here for a long time.
Why here?
I'm not sure. But on closer examination... Show yourself!
Ahí está.
Kaede Harakazua. It's you, at last.
Aha! So it is the same guy from before!
Zapaimo.
What's your problem, huh? What could you...
Indeed, there should be no enmity between us. But what if instead of facing Amenoma Yuya, we are in fact facing the blade in his hand?
Now that you mention it, it is giving... Whoa!
Tatarigami energy often lodges itself within physical objects. Then the blade has resided in Mr. Nagato's warehouse for many years. Or rather, as a means to occupy
You're sharper than I thought. You've already deduced. Many years ago, I was forged by a famed bladesmith of the Ishin tradition as a descendant of the Kaedehara clan.
I presume it has something to do with the Raiden Goka.
Indeed. At that point in time, he failed to live up to the Raiden Shogun's expectations. He was a bladesmith of great renown, a master of his craft. There was nothing that he could not accomplish. And sure enough, in the end, he achieved what he had set out to do. All of his life's work, he not only bestowed upon me the greatest of strength. In her conceit, the Raiden Shogun lost not only the single most perfect blade in the...
So... swords can become conscious?
The people of the time in which I was born never believed I had that kind of power. They saw me as a mere blade. After the death of my creator, I decided to leave Snezhnaya and began my long quest to return to the... I seek but one thing. To face the full force of the Raiden Shogun's blade and prove my power.
So Amenoma Yuya was not your first victim. Tell me, what happens to those you've possessed when...
My hosts? Who cares what happens to them? They are but tools that when they got tired or injured or unusable, I hopped to the next one in line.
You're awful!
After I returned to Inazuma, I decided to bide my time in Nagato's warehouse. At long last, I'm approaching. Kaedehara Kazuha, you stood against the Raiden Shogun's Muso no Hitotachi. Now, give your body over to me!
Dame tu cuerpo. Vamos a mirar con Kazuha.
I'll protect
Oh.
us.
Quitar.
Join me and sever that divine light! Submit to me!
Oye,
Wind Strider! Into the wind!
me encanta el viento. Oye, ven acá, ven acá. Ya. Nika voy a entrar ahí. Ya, así.
Join me and sever that divine light!
Ven acá, ven acá, ven acá.
Submit to me! Join me and sever that divine light!
From whence you came!
Let's dig. Help.
Burn! Submit to me!
Falling leaves, adorn my night! Winds!
Eso.
Do not stand in my way, or I will strike you down too!
Your bluff's fooling no one.
Lost.
Sí, perdiste.
I can never lose. It is this body that is even if you defeat me here, the one who falls will not. He is but a puppet that can be replaced. The end result is the same. I will end this, and even if I were to
bien
lose
terca,
my
bien
physical
terca la
form,
espada.
it by any means necessary.
Your fighting style. It is indeed the forms of, but from your movements, I sense only hatred and arrogance.
Really? You can tell all.
As I've mentioned before, the forms of Ishin are. Since the blade is currently possessing Aminome Yuya's body, if you ask me, the mania is probably due to your desperate.
Are you trying to claim that I am help on his deathbed? He passed to me in that regard.
Because all of that is in the past. I've been wondering why you've not caused more trouble in all the years that you've been in Inazuma. Now that I've seen inside your mind, everything finally makes sense. After all the time that's passed, you have grown weak. To the point that you are now.
Oh, that's right. Paimon remembers now. Mr. Nagato had a habit of.
Only when Mr. Nagato witnessed his wife's distress and decided to sell his collectibles did you finally have an opportunity to reach out to Aminome Yui.
And what of it?
Well, that brings me to my second point. You were determined to fulfill your maker's ambition, whatever the cost. But this ambition, I think you realized your limitations long ago. But the way I see it, what began as a...
What would you know about any of this?
You returned to Inazu, even if you were to sever that divine light.
You...
¿Una cara por la espalda?
Sure, you inherited the secrets of Ishin art. But even as you made your journey to how could you possibly unleash the full potential of Ishin?
Silence, you blabbering... I must achieve my goal. I will concede that you...
And you should face...
Easy for you to say. Facing reality offers me nothing. I have no need of anything that would stand in my way. Not hesitation. It is point...
How stubbornly... I do not believe for a second that you can challenge the almighty Shogun.
What?
Very well. Once we have dealt with...
And as for your end of the bargain, if you...
I accept.
Don't do this, Kazuha!
This is the only way to save Aminome Yuya. The cursed blade's strength, the power of the Tatar... Even
Yeah?
if things take a... We have a chance here to
Making-
save an
making-
innocent...
Your disdain for me betrays your woke now.
Kazuha?
I'm okay. I felt a little dizzy at first, but it's all right. So far, this was as I expect. I will. Thank you.
What should we do next?
We find some enemies. Although this blade has endured much turmoil, it probably hasn't experienced. If a blade built for Ishin art cannot enter a state of harmony between blade and bearer, if he wants to avoid reality, then we need to fight until he has no choice but to face it.
Wait a minute! Paimon remembers hearing about something since the Takasukasa clan abandoned that secret base. What about
The blade says he'll let Amenoma Yuya trail us silently.
Are we sure this? Okay,
¿A dónde vamos a irnos ahora? ¿Está? Oh, está muy alto. Es el lugar donde hay que probar la espada. Acá. Ya está. Una espada maldita.
Leave everything on this journey to me.
Quiero probar con ellos. Como saco de boxeo. Pega. Viento negro. Qué bueno.
Time to go. Wind strike.
The ferry. Let's get down to business.
Júntense.
How's this?
The wind knows me.
Fuego, bueno.
How are you feeling?
I'm all right. The blade is performing largely as I expected. Having gone so long without proper use, though he's making every effort to persevere.
Something else on your...
How strange. Rather than... Let's keep going.
Parece que... La espada está coordinado con Kazuha.
It's my lucky day. Let's get down to business. My blade.
One with nature. Into the wind. Wind strike.
¿Sigue ahí?
Whoa! Something's up with the blade!
I can sense that his strength is slowly fading. He cannot hold out much longer. If he keeps...
But what would that do to...
I will be careful with it. He's...
siguiente acto. No dejé nada acá. A ver, cofres, no.
Time to go. One with nature. The wind knows me.
Vamos para acá. Vamos.
Time to go.
Tres.
Cut down. Like this.
Are you okay? It looked like you were really.
Yes. And it looks like
The sheen's grown a bit dimmer again.
perhaps this time we'll finally have a chance to see.
True form?
La
What
forma.
are you? Is this the
Ahí
same
está.
blade as before? It looks like a piece of junk.
If you choose to continue in the state you're in, you wouldn't even be able to beat Samurai and Kairagi, much less the Alm. Maybe you did truly wield power to rival the Shogun's light when first forged. But the long journey from Snezhnaya back to Inazuma, it barely needs stating anymore. Your ambition is a flight of fancy. I finally figured out why it was that you wanted to reach a state of harmony with me. But regrettably, we are nothing alike. I will the only one.
Here they are. Take them down.
Where do they keep coming from? Yup. We.
Don't worry, it's just more.
Let's get down to business.
Let me try my
Vamos.
cheap
Go.
Into the wind. Not bad.
¿O morir? Oh. ¿Qué morir?
and you.
No, eso no
Time to
es
go.
verdad,
The wind knows me.
Take this.
No,
One with nature.
muere. Bien.
You fought way better with your own sword.
You are a true Kaedehara. No one knew anything of
Está
my
Nico, la
story
espada ya
throughout my trap. I
está
thought that
desgarrada.
if I could achieve Ishin harmony,
But in this too,
indeed, no matter how hard I tried, I could. Too much time has passed. My physical state is poor and without proper maintenance. Yours is the blade that took on the Muso.
actually, forging and maintenance are both important. This blade has traveled the land with me for many years, and we have formed a close bond. Skill, blade, determination, and desire. There is something else I must tell you. Though your maker may not have been aware, your ability to possess Tatarigami is a malevolence from the ancient past. It is the sort. Though you tried to cooperate with me while I was wielding you, the part of you driven by Tatarigami was constantly.
I sensed it, but I couldn't change it. It is.
I resisted its temptations because I wanted to save Amenoma Yuya. I feel a great sense of regret for you. The moment you embarked on this journey, you have known this.
He gave me. How could I? I said to him.
Aww.
I believe our bet is now settled.
Where are you going, Kazuha?
He now has neither the ability nor the motivation to cause further harm. When I touched the hilt for the first time, a bladesmith lay quietly on the bed, his frail face barely visible under the moonlight. A newly forged blade lay by his side.
Wow.
Indeed. While in exile in Snezh, he spent the rest of his life and he felt intense regret at being tricked by the Fatui, but he could never again return to his homeland. His sole wish was to one day return his single, proudest creation. So he instructed this. All he wanted to show was that they once shone brilliantly as blade and smith.
So that's the... But after that...
Right. I believe the bladesmith might never have known. This blade has committed unforgivable atrocities, but only because it lost.
Shame it's too...
Yes. It is too late. Time would not wait. He seems to have called.
¿Cuál espadita?
When I look back at the past, I can remember the day of my forging like it. I once told him that but darkness and slaughter numb the mind. Not only did I fail to fulfill his ambition.
You are finally seeing reality.
Since we agreed to the terms of the bet, but I still cannot bring my... So, may I...
Hey! Now you're adding yours into the mix.
It has to be done in this my physical form as well.
His attitude... What do you think, Kazuha?
Let's hear it.
Thank you all. Alas, nor have I ever had my fights were devoid of any noble meaning. You are a fine warrior. I would like to request you...
Oh? And who would...
I will release Amenoma Yuya and restore his consciousness. You must have plenty of reasons to both hate me...
Understood. Then let's start by waking him up and...
Despierta, explica lo que ha sucedido.
I see. He used my body. I utterly despise him and his actions. But since he stayed true to... If a duel can help to set this state of affairs in order, I do not wish to be a mere victim.
There's no need to worry. We'll vouch for your...
Thanks for your help. Who knows how this would have ended without...
All right, then let's move on. More Ronin could appear at any moment. We can't stay here. In any case, for a final duel, I think we should...
Ya. A ver, ¿qué nos dio de todo esto? Nada bueno. Bueno, normal. Acá. Salimos. Los deseos. Equipar. Listo. No puedo chapar el gato de agregado.
This reminds Paimon a bit of the crux. Yep, we still. Are you ready?
Ready? Okay. All right then. Successor of Ishin...
Successor of...
Honored to cross blade...
It is my honor...
¿Por qué tengo que yo ver aquí?
The wind knows it.
Qué bien, ¿eh?
Time to go. Into the wind.
Se cubre bien. Ya.
The wind knows it.
Oye, ¿por qué estás? Ven acá. Oye, ¿qué tal fuerza? No. Bien.
Time to go.
Tiene buen estilo de pelea. Costados,
That hurts!
costados.
One with nature.
Tengo acá.
Clouds high. The birds call.
Bien.
Thank you for the experience, although he appears battered and broken. In your hands, it seems he's regained a glimmer of brilliance. His sense of savage cruelty has completely faded away.
You also fought well. I'm sure he relished the experience. There are a few things that I shall leave him to tell you.
I must apologize to you for all that has transpired.
Hablaba.
You need not seek my forgiveness. Nor do I have the right to forgive you on your victims. It is too late for all of that.
I do not wish for forgiveness. I only hope that you will see my transgressions as mine alone, and I strayed far from the straight and narrow path, but the east, I beseech you, please understand.
Yes. I too trust Mr. Kaedehara.
Thank you, successor of Amenoma art.
This blade has also told me that he has another wish. He would like to... Maybe we can go back there together.
What does he want?
I'm not sure, but I think that all this is about to come to an end.
Carejo, carejo, carejo. Ya peces por acá, creo. Acá está. Guerrero. Asumo, voy a extrañar bastante Asumo cuando vayamos a otro, bueno, otro continente, ¿no?
Ah, it's Yuya! You have returned!
Sí, volvió.
I am sorry to have troubled you.
Ya todo lo que ha
A
sucedido.
prized Ishin blade. Turned weapon that can... But I have some good...
Really?
Yes. Badly... And now that you...
I think I know what you want.
What's wrong, Kazuha? Is the...
Yes. He said he wants to take
What?
He tells me that he's... I have decided...
You... But... He... Guess there's nothing we...
Thank you. I will... Okay. I am ready. Let us...
My power is almost spent. Without him, my eventual demise is inevitable. But if I abandon the future to give everything I have in this moment, my physical form can be forged anew.
Everything. You mean...
Yes, the cost is my entire consciousness. You were right. There's nothing that I can accomplish now. But there's still a chance for Ishin art. Once remade, I will be a valuable resource for your studies. Ishin lives on, and its finest hour is yet to come. Even if I am not the one to prove its might to the Shogun, as long as it is an Ishin blade, crafted by Kaedehara hands, it will still fulfill his final wish. Thank you, son of the Kaedehara clan. Over the years, my real name has been forgotten by all. I'm ashamed to utter it, yet it remains strong in my mind. Kagotsurube Ishin. This name is now yours to keep.
Rest in peace.
So... That's why he said it had to be done in that or his consciousness will disappear forever after fulfilling.
Kagotsurube Ishin. It seems like deep down he disapproved of his own actions. And only in the final moments, before his consciousness faded, was...
Seems like he really wanted to fulfill his maker's wish.
The same fervent ambition that gave him the motivation to keep going forward. Speaking for myself, I'd rather see him recognize and atone for his mistakes than see him punished for them. I understand. Perhaps this is a flaw in my personality. I've always been captivated. Hearing his wish to rival the divine light, your quest to face the gods, and trade after everything I've seen.
Oh, Kazuha.
I will continue to support you from this point on. Know that you will have my assistance when...
Wait! Shouldn't we also go...
Oh, you're right. And it's also time to give...
Acaba esto, así que vamos al siguiente, donde está Kata.
The Tenryou Commission...
Wow!
Then we needn't recount all the details again. Now, as to your earlier offer, I wish to give you my answer.
What's this?
Kagotsurube Ishin. Oh, by means of a... And so, it looks like I will likely continue with my journey across the nation.
I see.
The Kaidahara clan has always been a family of bladesmiths. Were I to accept your goodwill, I may find myself embroiled in conflicts between the shogunate and...
You misunderstand. That was most...
I am aware, but I still...
Very well. I can understand. Then let's pretend this off. However, if you should ever change your mind or...
Great.
Where will you travel to next?
I'll probably... As for my next destination, let's see where the wind takes me.
Amigos, continuará. Ah, ¿tengo la espada de Kishi? ¿En serio? ¿En serio? No, a ver. Espada. Está. Kakut. Ishin. Espada ligera. Calidad técnica Ishin al golpear a un enemigo. Ataque normal, cargado o resistente. Se crea una ráfaga de viento cortante que inflige un daño en el ADE equivalente al 180% del ataque y aumenta en un 15% de ataque durante 8 segundos. Este efecto se puede activar una vez cada 8 segundos. Buena. La ligera, ataque básico. Otra vez también ya. Con ataque normal. Al golpear a un enemigo con un ataque normal, cargado o descendiente, o sea, no importa cualquiera de las tres, se crea una ráfaga de viento cortante que inflige daño a equivalente a 100% de ataque, aumenta 15% de 8 segundos. Efecto solo. El máximo final alcanzado todavía está. Se puede, ya pues esto lo vería para otra vez, pero está muy bueno realmente. Bueno amigos, eso sería todo. Falta el arconte. Esto que está acá es otra cosa, creo. Esto ya es para Meru, que podemos llegar. Y falta estas 3 reliquias. Esto también. No completa misiones necesarias para continuar, dice. Dice acá, acto 2. Que es Patrice Umbrox. Y de donde cayeron las rocas espíritu. Ya. Bueno, dejen su like. Me gustó realmente estos videos que he hecho de la legendaria. Está muy bueno, realmente, muy emocionante. Extrañaba estas horas que se demoraba en hacer un video, digamos, ¿no? De la historia de cada personaje o lo que podía venirnos. Bueno, me gustó bastante. Y ya estamos de regreso de vuelta a Genshin Impact. Dejen su like, qué tal les pareció, sus comentarios y suscribirse al canal, que vamos a traer más videos sobre esto. Bueno, nos vemos y chao, chao.